Hi, here are some tips to help you complete an Oryx 3 fight. Knight is a very good class for learning the Oryx 3 fight because of how tanky the class is. With a standard Knight build, you'll have upwards of 950 health and over 70 defense. This allows for you to take more shots without the panic of having to Nexus. The gigantic health pool the Knight has is also very helpful for Celestial Phase if you're not confident with it. It gives you a lot more time to Nexus. The class also can offer an absurd amount of damage if paired with a Brutal Buckler, the shield obtained from the intern shards. Priest, as of right now, is a very good class for Oryx 3. The ability to heal yourself comes in very handy if you catch yourself in a sticky situation. With the right setup, Priest can also be very good DPS. Mobility comes in very handy when it comes to Oryx 3 because of how mobile Oryx 3 is himself. The Tier 6 Tome and Geb Tome both offer a 2 to 2.5 second speedy buff, which can massively help if you're out of position. And probably the best of the three, the Trickster. Despite not having much to offer when it comes to stat boosting, i.e. heals or tankiness, it does have the ability to literally mitigate the effects of more than 3 of Oryx's dangerous phases. To be completely honest, I feel like I could go on for hours about how good Trickster is in O3, but I'll keep it snappy because this video is more aimed towards people who are going to their first completions or consistency in their runs. Trickster's ability grants the user the power to teleport, which makes the lightning walls, also known as heavens, not a threat at all. If you have a basic understanding of the class and you know how to play it to a decent extent, then you should be able to just teleport over the lightning walls with no hassle. As this isn't specifically a guide video for Oryx 3, I'm just going to be going over the parts I see people struggle with the most. From what I see, there are a lot of people who have trouble with Celestial Phase, so I'll be starting from the basics. On a Celestial Phase, you can either get a good rotation or a bad rotation, and even the best of players who use the anti-clockwise banner rotation method can admit that a bad rotation can be pretty deadly if you misstep even once. A good tip for O3 is to remember that all things that Oryx says corresponds to a phase. Celestial Phase starts at around 40% HP, where he says in the chat, "Fall before my Celestial Strength." If you aren't confident with Celestial, just bolt it to one of the 4 banners. My banner of choice is always the bottom banner, and I rotate anti-clockwise up to the yellow banner. I myself is still rather unsure on the contents of a bad rotation. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to do Celestial on a good rotation. Treat Celestial Phase like how you would treat sinking in quicksand. Not in game of course, but in an actual life-threatening situation. The more you struggle and move around, the more likely you are to die or have to Nexus. The portals that rotate anti-clockwise around the room inflict pet stasis, so if you get hit by any of them, you better kiss your pet goodbye for a few seconds. The indicated lightning does a flat 200 damage. Taking in one of those are a lot less dangerous than taking a pet stasis, because it just does flat 200 with no stasis. The main shots you really want to be dodging is Oryx's Celestial Shotgun, which can do upwards of 600 damage if you're not careful. There are multiple ways to go about doing Celestial Phase. The conventional way is to rotate anti-clockwise 90 degrees, which is the way you see me do it. An alternative way is doing it the way that Sebtruth does it on his stream.
Alright, let's see if I can do this drunk. Are you ready? Oh wait, shit, I took my armor off. Oh fuck. Oh shit, I didn't notice. I'm doing bad. Wait, I'm doing good. Hello? This is better than I normally play, but I'm drunk. Hello? Hello?
And then there's the absolute psychopaths like Gleph who do it like this. Gleph and Sebtruth's techniques are rather similar, however Gleph starts his at around a 45-degree angle and Seb's is on the carpet. Whilst learning this phase, I highly suggest refraining from using either of these methods for, reasons. If you're going for early consistency, I definitely go for the conventional anti-clockwise banner strat, which I've shown already. I'm going to use this segment of the video to explain some tricks to some of the phases of Oryx 3. However, I'm going to be explaining them in the context of their exalted forms. First, let's start with Splendor's sweet spotting. Splendor's has a sweet spot which changes on each wave of the sickening shot. All you need to do is memorize this pattern. Right, left, down, up, right. The sweet spot is rather big too, so if you move to that side of Oryx 3, then you have a very minimal chance of taking damage. However, if you do take a shot, be prepared to dodge for 6 seconds because the shots do inflict a hefty second effect. Oryx 3 has 2 phases where he rotates on either the inner or outer edges of the room. Here I'm going to be giving some advice on the inner rotation. On the occasion that you are inner rotating with him, make sure you stay on par with him or closer to the middle than he is. On the outside, the shots tend to stack up and deal ludicrous amounts of damage if you get hit by them. In my opinion, outer rotation is probably the safest phase when it comes to Exalted. A really useful tip for Oryx's outer rotation phase is that he shoots a very minimal amount of shots towards the wall. The only shots that will be able to hit you are the pet stasis portals that are rotating in the middle of the room. I do apologize, I can't give much insight on the outer and inner rotations because there really isn't much to them. The main threat with these phases comes later in the fight, which I'll shortly discuss. Next. Oh boy. I'll be talking about a phase which is notorious for one-shotting even the best of players. That would be the Ruthless Meteor phase. As a quick explanation to somebody who doesn't know, this is a phase where Oryx starts calling down some very strong, but also telegraphed, meteors. When Oryx is summoning his meteors, you can do one of two things. 1. Run away as far as you can and dodge the very spaced out meteor projectiles which will be landing. And 2, which is very effective once you've learned the phase, is to stand at a 45-degree angle from Oryx and shoot him down. Oh, and credits for Kraykiller for this because I can't really pull this off myself consistently. I've created a very effective and detailed diagram showing where the first 2 sets of meteors land. The emoji indicates where it's best to stand during this phase. There is one last thing I'd like to talk about in this video, and this will probably be the last segment, and that is the Reign of Terror that we call Heavens. If you're looking for something to screw you over hardcore, this is definitely it. Heavens could be the demise of even your best 8/8 knight if you're not keeping track. This is the golden rule of Heavens. Do not forget it. Lightning walls appear every 3 times Oryx summons lightning bolts around the arena, so always keep track of those. Trust me when I say this makes the fight 10 times easier if you keep track on when the lightning walls are appearing. This is how to deal with the walls. First, detect what phase Oryx is doing. If your run has a confident trickster, then Oryx shouldn't be chasing the group too much. Secondly, acknowledge what variation of lightning walls have been summoned. There are 4 different motions for the lightning walls: left to right, right to left, diverging, and converging walls. Out of the 4 of these, converging is definitely the most terrifying. If you don't understand what converging means, in the context of these walls, it means that there are 2 walls going from the outside and colliding in the middle of the room. When these walls appear, make it your top priority to cross the wall before you do anything else. Remove the threat before it's too late. This is where memorizing all of Oryx's phrases comes in very handy because it will help you know where to position in all scenarios. Remember what I said previously about rotation phases? Yeah. This is where it gets dicey. There are 3 phases which become incredibly deadly during Heavens, this being both of the rotation phases and comets. A lot of other phases can be resolved through decoys. Comets during Heavens aren't particularly scary until you realize that the indicator for the meteor could be hidden under the lightning wall indicator. Yeah, I'm sure you can connect the dots there. Ultimately, the rotation phases can become very scary because the shots stack up and can create an almost undodgeable barrage of shots if you're not in the right position. Overall, if you're new to Oryx 3, all I can say is to just run away as far as you can and pray to God that you have your dodging shoes on. Heavens and rotations together are absolutely no joke. I hope you're able to get something from this video. If this video helped you at all get your first O3 completion, then please shoot me a message in-game or on Discord and I'll try my best to reply. If this video helps even one person feel more confident with the fight, then that would mean the world to me. Let me know if there's anything else about Sanctuary that you want to know in the comments. Until next time, cheerio.